So good morning, everybody. Thanks for your time connecting with us to learn about chemical engineering graduate studies in the Faculty of Engineering of the University of Waterloo here in Canada. We have we created this space for all of you to get a better understanding of what are the benefits, why I should be taking or why I should be thinking about a master's, PhD in chemical engineering, what are the opportunities, what are the benefits of doing so, and how you can be part of the University of Waterloo. To do so, of course, we have two great panelists. Now they will introduce themselves. They are experts who can guide you, and hopefully you can meet them in person when you join the University of Waterloo. And they are here ready to solve all the questions that you might have about how you can take a master's, a PhD in chemical engineering at the University of Waterloo. So here we can start. Judy.
Thank you, Maria. So my name is Judy Caron, and I'm the manager for graduate studies here in chemical engineering. And Nikki is here with us as well. Nikki can speak to our research abilities. She's a technical writer in our department, and she assists a lot of our faculty members with their research profiles and pages and all kinds of interesting things like that. So that is who we are. I want to make it very clear that at any point you're ask questions. Either save it till the end or ask in the middle. It doesn't matter to me. Every time one of you guys asks a question, it saves me from answering it in an additional 20 or 30 times. So this is a good thing to do. And so we want to make sure that you're all very comfortable asking questions. So a little bit about us. We are one of the largest, for chemical engineering, I believe we are the largest in Canada at this point. We have an excellent reputation for academic excellence, as well as a very strong entrepreneurial system in place. We're working in several different fields inside the university, very collaborative department. Our faculty are cross-appointed. Actually, I can't think of a place where we're not cross-appointed. So that means that they're working with faculties in science, arts, health, biotech, biomed, nanotechnology, water, all kinds of things like that. Maybe I'll let Nikki go on with this part.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Nikki. As Judy said, I'm the Communications and Outreach Officer for Chemical Engineering. And one of my parts of my role that I love is I'm the person that writes all the stories on the website about all the amazing and novel emerging research that our faculty is engaged in. So we have a diverse range of research areas. Our department also has 9 research chairs to enhance these strengths. And we have research chairs working in the area of fuel cells, hydrogen-powered cars, biotech, biomedical, advanced materials, computational. So we have very strong research chairs in those areas and more. So maybe we can go to the next slide. Yeah, so I would click on all these links to show you, but right now, unfortunately, our websites are down on the university, so I'm not sure what's happening there. But you can see these are just a few of the stories I've written over the last year or so. That's Professor Michael Pope that you see standing there. He has an NSERC training project right now that has to do with 2D materials and training graduate students, such as yourselves, prospective graduate students, in becoming experts and becoming job ready to enter industry with an expertise in 2D materials. The one under that talks about chemical engineering, invests in bioengineering, health tech. That article is about, it's kind of exciting because within our department of chemical engineering, we have now the largest number of metabolic engineers in Canada. So these are faculty and researchers that are looking at creating new feedstocks from things like algae, yeasts, bacteria, animal cells. And their work is quite diverse and runs the spectrum from creating the world's first bio-based glycolic acid, which is like used in the cosmetic industry, to one of our professors, she's also a research chair, Evelyn Yim, has made vascular grafts for patients having bypass surgeries, using like a nano technique along with seaweed to allow the blood cells to grow on the vascular grafts. So there's quite a broad range of research being done in that area of synthetic biology. The one below about closing the carbon cycle, that's another one of our research chairs, Professor Zhongwei Chen, who has created reactors that could be stacked. So you could have a reactor as big as a house, and it would convert CO2 directly into more valuable, more environmentally friendly chemicals. So that's just a few things. And there it says polymer expert turns waste into biodegradable materials. Of course, we have so many people in our department that work on soft matter engineering and advanced materials. Many of them are creating biopolymers. And then the last one is kind of fun. The tiny new climbing robot was inspired by geckos and inchworms. That's another one of our university research chairs. And he's making a medical robot that eventually could go inside your body and perform operations or deliver whatever treatment is needed. So that's just a small taste of some of the exciting research going on in our department.
Small one, imagine, to be part of that.
So maybe we can go to the next slide. Yes.
Hold on here, sorry.
Okay, yeah, so
we froze. Okay, there we go. So today we can provide you with information on a myriad of things, including the differences between our different programs. We have 7 programs inside chemical engineering, but to break them out, there's a Master's of Engineering program, which is a course-based program with a brand new co-op option available to it. And then we have a master's and a PhD. So we'll be talking and can talk to you about tuition, funding, scholarships, how long it takes to do a degree, and how to apply.
So here again, it's talking about our research areas. And you can see that we have 2 collaborative graduate programs with nanotechnology engineering and with water. Many of our professors that teach in nanotechnology engineering are from chemical engineering. So there you can just see some of the areas of research that I mentioned. And this, I commissioned a study be done to see what our graduates in the last 5 years, to see where they have landed in terms of employment after grad school. So you can see biomed, medical, biotech is big there. Education, academia is the black one, which is quite large. Chemicals and materials is quite large. Consulting, engineering services. Business, of course, that speaks to our amazing entrepreneurial ecosystem that we have here. I'll just really quickly tell you the story of one of our grad students who has now gone on to create a startup. His name is James Lohman, and he has created it's a in real-time heart monitoring device that can be used in the ER if someone's experiencing a heart attack and they're being treated in the ER. This tool allows them to see how the treatment is affecting the patient and how it is, if it's mitigating the damage. And so it gives doctors feedback in real time. So he has won a couple of different pitch contests where his startup has been funded. So there was a couple of steps to that. And now he's out there in the world. He's got a startup. He's working very closely with Velocity. And so it's just wonderful to see that kind of success coming out of our graduate studies program. So that's just a little bit about the startups you can see and the businesses. And then I'll let Judy go ahead and talk about the next part.
So we put this slide together for you so that you could see kind of at a glance the differences in the different types of degrees that we do offer here. So again, we have a Master's of Engineering program, which is very, very popular. It's overwhelmingly applied for throughout the world. We try to take anywhere from 50 to 75 students in this program every year, and we have at least 5 times that in the volume of applications that we receive. Typically, if you're doing a normal MEng program, it's going to take you 3 terms or 1 year to do this degree. We only admit to this program in the fall because we felt very strongly that we wanted to provide the program and its content in a structured way to make sure that you're only paying for 3 terms of the program, if you know, as much as possible. We wanted to keep it as cost effective as possible and as tightly, like keep the timeline tight. But there are many different options. There are 4 different specializations as of about 2 weeks ago, we had our entrepreneurship specialization approved. So we now have 4 specializations, plus effective May 1st, we actually have a co-op option, so that effective this fall, students will be able to apply directly into our MEng co-op option. We're going to scale that up in a way to make it so that we can assure the program participants of a successful outcome. So we're not just going to admit 75 people into an entrepreneurship program. We're going to make sure that there are jobs available and that, you know, that the structure is there and in place to provide you with the best quality. Our Masters of Applied Science program, as well as our PhD, our doctoral PhD program, are both research-based, which means research is the primary component of these 2 degrees. There is coursework that has to be done as part of each of the 2 research degrees, but it's not as course heavy. The MEng degree would typically be an 8.5 course degree, whereas your Master's of Applied Science is 4.5, and your PhD, if you've already got a master's, is 3.5. So you can see that there are different requirements for each of these degrees. We do allow students to transfer from MEng to MASC. We allow direct admits to a PhD, and I have in fact had students transfer from an MEng degree into a PhD degree. So there's a lot of movement allowed in our programs.
Also, like just to help also the students to understand with the previous one, many times we are so used, you know, to say MEng, MASC, but like just to make it super clear for all of you who are thinking about studies and how to define it. So the Master of Engineering is what we call MEng, and the Master of Applied Science, that it requires research and supervisors, that's the MASC. Like many times we just talk with our own language, but just for you to have it super clear, the difference between the MEng and the Master of Applied Science. And of course, I would like to super highlight this new opportunity with the co-op program. That's new. So it is a great option, brand new, and it's a great opportunity. And you have it ready for you to apply for fall.
Thanks for clarifying, Maria, because honestly, like I talk this talk all day long, and it's sort of important to highlight the fact that these are the acronyms that we use for these degrees. Yeah. So, Nikki, go ahead. You can go ahead.
I'll just jump in here. So this is just a quote from one of our graduate students that's in the program, working with one of our research chairs, Professor Aiping Yu, which you can see in the picture there. So if you visit our website, when it's up, right now it's down, but when it's up, if you go to our future grad students, you'll see there that there's a page called Meet Our Grad Students, because I'm sure you want to hear firsthand from other students their experience of the program, their level of satisfaction. So there's a couple of videos there of students talking about their experience, and there's also several written experiences by graduate students that are currently in our programs.
Actually, I want to add something to that. If anybody out there is wanting to speak to a grad student, reach out to me and let me know. I will connect you with a grad student in a research group that you're wanting to talk to, so that you can talk to them directly. Our students very, very willing and accommodating and supportive to talk to other students from all over the world about their experience. And that will give you a very frank piece of information that might help you in making your decision, okay?
Here in the chat, there are the contact information, and the page looks to be up. So you can find here the link for the future graduate students, and same for meet our graduate students, same as Judy's contact. Here in the chat, you can find the links.
So this slide, again, I'm sorry our websites are down today, but okay, the first thing here is that the QR code will allow you to book directly into my calendar. You can choose when you want to talk to me, and we'll have a Teams call and set it up so that we're talking to each other live. If you'd like to come into my office, if you're in North America and you want to come to Waterloo, you're welcome to walk in the door, and just, if my door's open, that means I'm available. So that's how that runs. Again, there is a website that I'm sure will be up sometime soon today, and it is our future grad student website. It has a lot of information about our programs and resources available to you. There are a lot of resources available to students on campus. The application process is well laid out on that page. I will mention that it's a fully online automated application that you can come and go from. You don't have to sit down and finish the entire thing in one go. Once you've created your profile user ID, you can come and go from that application, but there are deadlines in place. The deadlines that are set out are on the bottom of this slide. The deadline is the deadline to apply, not the deadline to have your application completed. It's an application deadline, so you have to have submitted your application by that date. I like to give students 10 business days from the time they apply to complete their application, and I'm pretty tight about that because I want your application available to all my faculty members as soon as possible and for as long as possible, to give people ample opportunity to review your application, perhaps set up an interview. You are also encouraged to seek out your own supervision. They look when they need, but they don't look when they don't need. So if you want to sell yourself, then we have to talk about, some different ways that you can do that. And that is the end of this presentation.
That's great. Here also I want to say that the pages are working now. You can, I can show as well the pages that we have here. So you can, I share all the links in the chat for all the students that are here with us today. So you can see the website, you can find all the resources that Judy was talking about.
Yeah, Maria, I just checked and I think it's still down. I just went to our site and oh, you've got it. Maybe it's my computer.
It's going slowly. Maybe it will take a couple of hours. So here it is, the page that Nikki was explaining to meet our graduate students. And of course, just see those testimonials that are here and take advantage of this offer that Judy just made to connect you with someone who already did that, who can solve all the questions that you might have. And here I share this link, but just in case, it's Chemical Engineering Future Graduate Students. You can find it in the chat. So let's see over here if we have any other question. So we have Grace, Hyan, Hydri, Kevin, Mobarek, Saib. Well, there are many names. William, to all of you, thank you very much for giving us a little bit of your time today to learn about the opportunities and all the options that you have here at the University of Waterloo, either if you're interested in an MN, in a Master of Engineering course based with one of the specializations, if you're interested in that, or if you are interested in research and you want to be part of all those great stories at the university. Here we have, Kevin is asking, what are the deadlines to apply for the PhD?
Can I?
Mm-hmm.
So Kevin, on this slide, I don't know, is my screen still being shared?
No, if you can share it again. There you go.
So Kevin, these are the application deadlines for all 7 programs. Again, all of our programs have rolling admission, which means we admit for the fall term, the winter term, and the spring term, with the exception of the MEng. Currently, our MEng program has an admit term of fall only. So for any of the terms that you're interested in, those are the deadlines to apply. And then, as I said, I will give you 10 additional business days to upload your supporting documentation to your application. I should also mention that, as I said, the application is electronic. That means that your references will get a request for reference electronically through the system that they can fill out and attach a support letter to if they choose to.
Perfect. What are some of the requirements to apply for a Master of Applied Science?
Okay, so for our Masters of Applied Science program and our MEng program, the admission minimum is 75%. So I realize that every country in the world has a different grading system. When you go to apply to graduate studies, you're asked to self-declare your average, and they ask you to self-declare on a 100-point scale. We will recalculate your average to make sure that we have an accurate overall GPA. So don't worry about that. If you're, for example, on a 100-point grading scale, then your transcript is going to show you that you have 79 out of 100 as an overall GPA, or 83 or whatever. If you're in Iran, you have a 20-point grading scale. So we can recalculate so that we know what we're dealing with. It's important for you to know that we do have a minimum of 75%. For both of our programs, we're looking for at least 1 academic reference. You can have 2, but we're looking for 1. You can also use a job, an employer, as a reference. For the PhD, we're looking for at least 2 academic references, and they would prefer 3. Okay, so there's all kinds of little things. It's well laid out on the page so that you can see what the requirements are, but I'm happy to talk to any of it.
Because in fact, Saeb is also asking, what are the references that are required?
What are the references that are required?
Yeah.
So for the MEng and the MASC program, we're looking for 1 academic reference as a minimum plus 1. So a total of 2, and at least 1 must be academic. And for a PhD, we're looking ideally for 3 academic references. We will take 2 as a minimum with rationale.
Perfect. And I'm also sending here the link so they can see all the requirements. It's also for you as a student, as a reference, also when you're outside of the university. So you are going to find all the information in the chemical and in the page in the Department of Chemical Engineering for graduate studies. But when you apply, you are redirected to another page that is called GSPA, that is like the central admissions center for all graduate programs. So it's just for you to don't get confused. So when you click and apply to, you will be directed to that page, and that's where you will receive all the information. Maybe also you can clarify a little bit about this process of application and what kind of documents they need to submit.
Completely unrelated to anything. I wonder if our participants want to share with us where they're from. To be honest, I'd love to know. Are they able to put that in the chat?
Yes, here in the chat.
I'd just love to know where I'm talking to.
Let us know.
Oh, I see here that there's a question. How can I get connected to a professor?
Yeah, this is the hardest question of all. So all of our professor contact information is available on our website, and I encourage you to reach out after you've looked at the faculty research profiles and you've decided what kind of research you want to do or who you're most interested in working with. We encourage you to reach out. I need to be very clear. Sometimes you have to reach out weekly for several weeks, and that's because I have a job to do, and my job is to service you and my existing students. And so I'm always available. But the faculty member is doing research, running a research lab, teaching. They might have a research group of 15 to 20 people, and they're traveling all over the world because they're actually presenting all over the world now that the world has reopened, sort of. So they're crazy busy at times, and they're not exactly the best at answering their emails. So you have to be a little tenacious. I do not encourage you to email them 14 times a day. Once a week is good. And reach out to me if you're having problems after 3 or 4 weeks, and I'll try. I can't guarantee it because I can try. That's all I can do is try. But I can try and put you in touch. Okay?
And I see another question here from Kevin. Does the financial support apply since the first semester?
If you're in a research-based program, Kevin, you are provided with a financial package. I'll use the MASC as an example. The Masters of Applied Science program has a minimum guaranteed funding package of $18,000 per year for 2 years. So that very equally divides out to $6,000 a term for 6 terms. That's what it is. Starts in term 1, ends in term 6. However, we have a lot of students that start off in the MEng program, and then they find supervision and they transfer. If you start off in an MEng program, which is self-funded, there is no financial package for this, and then you transfer into an MAS program, your funding package will take over from the term you transfer up to and including term 6. They don't restart the clock. Okay, that's an important thing to understand. And that's because sometimes our MEng students will have taken 4 or 5 courses in the first 2 terms, and then they find somebody to supervise them in a research degree, so they transfer. There's no more coursework to be done. It's all straight research at this point. So they'll pay you up to and including term 6. The PhD program pays you up to and including term 12. And if you are a direct admit from a bachelor's, up to and including term 15.
I see.
You can continue. I can
questions.
And you can continue with the questions, and I will type the links.
So the next question is co-op currently introduced for MEng program for fall 2023 term? Because when I applied, it was not there.
The co-op program is going to be effective for fall 2023. Our associate chair and committee are actually going through the applicants for fall 2023 right now. They are identifying students that they wish to offer admission into this program for the fall 2023 term. And they're, like I said in an earlier piece, we're going to launch this. This is a soft launch for fall 2023. This is going to be a slow and soft launch, which means we're probably only going to admit 5 to 10 students into this cooperative program for the first term, because we want to make sure that it goes off properly and nice and clean, and that the students get the best. Like, we want to keep it small so that we can make sure we get it perfect, and then we'll scale it up. So students that did apply for fall 2023, there are going to be 5 to 10 as a maximum that are going to receive an email from us asking if they want to be considered for this program. If they do, your study permit that you've, I hope, already applied for is going to get you here. And as soon as you get here, we're going to apply for the work permit portion so that you've got all the credentials in place by the time you go to do that co-op option to allow you to do it. Right now, we're told that it can take 4 to 8 months to get the work permit approved through the government resources. That's more than enough time. If a student is starting in fall 2023, your first work term is going to be term 4. Okay, so that is fall 2024. So we have lots of time to make sure that the students that enter this co-op program will have the appropriate credentials in order to take the co-op option and be successful.
Thanks, Jude. And then the next question, I think I can answer it. It says, some professors have only fax numbers, not emails. How can we solve this? If you go on the website, there is an email provided in the contact section for each professor. So there definitely should be emails there. And I just wanted to say, Grace said that she's from Nigeria. And yeah, so, and we had another person who I forget their name now, but from Windsor.
Lovely.
And then here's a question from Mubarak. It says, for example, Professor Sasha Omanovic from the Electrochemistry and Corrosion Laboratory doesn't have mail in the staff directory. I don't think that's a chemical engineering professor.
It's not. It's not. It's not even a cross-appointed. That's a different department.
Yeah.
Mubarak. So I can't speak to whatever's going on a different department website.
And then there's another question, and I know, Judy, that you tell me this is one of the most asked questions. So William, thank you for asking it. His question is finding a prospective supervisor, oh, sorry, my thing just, a must before applying for a research-based program?
No, it is not. You can't, okay. You don't need a supervisor to apply to a program. You need a supervisor to be admitted to a program. So to give yourself the best option, I do recommend that you just go ahead and apply into the system, which gives everybody an opportunity to see your application. After you've done that, I want you to go to the research pages and look at the research pages and the faculty profiles to see who's doing something that you're interested in. Then you start trying to communicate with those people. That's the easiest and best way for you to start a conversation with a faculty member and see if they've got appropriate, resources to take on a student, or if they're doing research currently that is up your alley and what you want to do. And oftentimes, if they are not, they will suggest somebody that you should talk to. So you don't need a supervisor to apply. You need a supervisor to get an offer.
I'm seeing another comment from Kevin Zabala, who is in the United States.
Hi, Kevin.
From everywhere.
I'll refresh. I don't know if I see any more questions.
Here I'm sending.
I think we answered all the questions there.
For all the questions that are there, I also send you the links with the information, so you all have it to check it. Because probably outside of the network of the university, you can see the answers. So I think we did great. It is 10:35. The idea is was to work here for 35 minutes to make it very sharp. Like, this is the information that you need to know. We understand that to find information online is very challenging. It's a huge faculty, many professors, many research areas, many specializations. So it is okay when you feel like a little bit overwhelmed, like, where do I start? But here we are to help you in the process. Judy, she's like a super expert with every question that you might have. If you see you want to be a student at the University of Waterloo, Nicole as well, and myself, we are here to help you in the process. So thank you very much for connecting with us today. I will, let me just send quickly again, Judy's contact. And that will be it for today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time today. I think it's great that you know about all the benefits, opportunities, and limitless opportunities that you have here at the University of Waterloo with the Department of Chemical Engineering and all the graduate programs, masters, PhDs at the University of Waterloo. So thank you very much, Judy, Nicola, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Or night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.